Hello? Hello? Can you hear me? Welcome back. Hopefully you can hear me. Anybody there? Am I muted? I think it should be working. Hopefully. Nobody's saying anything yet. Makes me kind of sad. Oh, well, there's a yes. How about Luco for ship name? I don't know what their ship name is. I know Blake and Callisto's. Alright, I'm getting some highs. Hello, everyone. How's it going? Welcome back to another stream. Today, we are doing plants. Now, you might be thinking, but Aiden, we did plants last week, and you are right, because we did. But we did unique plants last week, so this week we're going to be doing some generic plants because that's important. And I don't blame you if you're like, wow, this is going to be boring, because it probably is. But that's just sort of how it is when you're doing some stuff. Some things are more boring than others, and that's just how it is. So I'm sorry this is going to be a bit more of a boring stream, but I'll try to make it as entertaining as possible. Where's the giveaway? There is no giveaway in this video. Oops. Sorry, that was probably really loud. Yeah, no giveaway this video. That's that was last week already. Wow. There was a video every single day this week. So I guess it depends on if you consider Sunday as the start of a new week or the end of the last week. I like to think of it as the end of the week, but maybe that's just me, I don't know. Anyway, welcome. So, do we have everyone here? How are we doing? So, I actually got a couple more submissions from the Discord about some plants. So, we're going to go over those first. Yeah, that's the right one. All right. So, I'll just scroll through these real quick in case you missed last week or something. We just did some plants. So, here's a couple plants, just to get an idea of some of the more unique plants, but that's not what we're talking about this week. This week we're doing plants that will just like, because these ones aren't going to be ones that you see like everywhere. We're talking about like normal trees, normal grass, stuff like that, you know, that we can find pretty much anywhere in Ilaria. So, yeah. There's some things. So yeah, we had some awesome plants last week, so that's why this week's probably going to be a little bit more boring, because yeah, no plants. Oh wait, no, I did not pass it yet. Okay, this one was one that seems a little bit big, actually. I'll go ahead and shrink that down a little bit. Whoops. I'm breaking things. This is why I can't do this. Is this gonna fit? It is. All right, cool. So this one, oh great, this one's not in alignment. Anyway, this one is a more generic flower, just like in a Earth Magic's garden or something. So this one could actually constitute as one of those flowers that is found around Ilaria, and it doesn't really matter like whatever biome you're in, it's just there, you know. So, and then there was another one. This one, well, actually, I don't know. This one could be a more common, I guess it's a shroom, which is still a plant, probably, unless it's a fungus. Depends on what we choose to classify mushrooms on Ilaria. These are mushrooms that glow in the dark. They can be used like a torch. They grow on dead branches. They have different levels of light emitted depending on the size of the yellow area and the color of the stalk. The plants store mana in the day and emit excess mana at night. It is also easy to remove the white edges since they don't glow. So, yeah, is the quality low? I Is it bad, or is the quality bad for anybody else? I didn't change anything, so hopefully it's still fine. I don't know. Sorry, guys. Technical difficulties must happen all the time, I suppose. So, yeah, okay. So, we got shell shrooms, and then we've got this other flower. So these were new from last week, so I just wanted to include those. So, grass. This is going to be very similar to what we're talking about today. So today is not necessarily going to be like coming up with like, this is what a tree looks like, this is its name, but it's more of, I want it to be more of a discussion about what Ilaria would sort of look like if we were going there. So like, is the color like different? Is it green, or does it have a more bluish tint, you know, or is it a more red tint? I sort of want to feel and sort of get an idea of what the vibe is on Ilaria. Like, is it very similar to Earth, whereas like there's a lot of green and, you know, water's blue, green is just plant life, and then yeah, or is it different? Like, are the plants like, do they have a more blue hue or a more red hue? So that's sort of what I wanted to do. Is it blurry? It says, I mean, I'm supposedly on the best settings, so, I don't know. Maybe it'll fix itself. It says I have excellent connection. I don't know. I honestly have no idea why it's doing that. I'm sorry. It's just wanting to be issue-y, I suppose. I don't know. Anyway. So I don't know if anybody has any ideas for like basic plants as far as like what we can sort of expect, you know, for specific plants or flowers or whatever. You can go ahead and put it down in the comments. But as well as that, we can also just start on the discussion of, does it look similar to Earth, or is it like, if you look around, you can definitely tell that you're on a different on a different world? Or is it like, okay, well, this is just a different location that I've never been to before on Earth? So like, what do we think? What do we want to do? Do we want to have it like more similar to Earth, or more similar to like an alien-y planet? Yeah, sorry about the quality. I don't know. Is this going to be made into an actual show? No, not as of right now, at least. It might become like a comic, or like an actual story, like, you know, you have to read. But I don't know. As of right now, I don't have any plans. We're just making it for fun, so we'll see. Alien planet. Okay, I'm getting a lot of alien planets. Well, here's the thing, right? I don't want it to stray too far away from Earth. I still want it to be like, okay, this is similar, but I don't want it to be necessarily like, if we all want it to be different, I want it to be a good different ethereal look, right? So especially since it is like the islands are suspended off the ground, so I don't know any like technical details. Like a professional might be able to tell you, well, in the event that there was just floating islands above water, this is how the environment would change and all this. So I don't know how it's actually like technically would be affected, assuming that Earth just became like that. But I definitely think that it should look a little bit different, but not so different to where it's like, this is like super alien-y. So maybe we should start off with like a color, like a basic color idea. Do we want it to be like this green, or do we want it to be a more red color or a more blue color? I think if we're keeping water the same blue, we might not want to we can make grass a little bit bluer, but not like water blue, because we want there to be some sort of distinction, especially with the full, I guess there's 5 elements. With the 5 elements, water would be blue, fire would obviously be red, air would be white and then space would be black. Okay, well, so if Earth is green, that's cool, but it's also pretty standard, so I don't know. Oh yeah, just as I think, isn't there like 3 moons? I think there's like 3 moons. Pink grass. No, I don't think we're gonna do pink grass. That's too bold of a move. Although there could be like, you know how there's that fire grass? Like there can be like some sort of pink grass, but it won't be like, I'm talking about common grass, common everyday grass, fire grass. Like this will be cool, but it's not like this is gonna be everywhere. Yeah, there are 3 moons, right? Light teal. Tetra light teal. Yeah, I'm fine with a bluer tint. It also probably depends on the biome that you're in. But I think we should probably keep, like, there can be areas on Ilaria where the colors are just like skewed, but I think it's just a base color, just to keep it familiar for the viewers. It would be probably a very similar color to just, you know, normal grass. Plus, grass on Earth can differ in color just depending on where you are and how light shines on it and stuff, so yeah. So probably color will I do like a bluer tint to things, so it might be a little bit more blue than usual, but aside from that, it's gonna be probably fairly similar. Okay, so as far as like foliage goes and like plants on the ground, like weeds and stuff, are we wanting it to be, because on Earth, if you just like stroll through a forest, you know, you're gonna find a bunch of different things, right? You're gonna find a bunch of weeds and flowers and stuff like that. Does Ilaria, does it have a vast range of flowers, or is it like there's only a couple different flowers, or is it like there's like 3 main kinds of flowers and they just have different color variations, like roses? Like, is there a red, blue, black, yellow rose? So like, is there an abundance of flowers and weeds that you can find on the ground, or is it mostly grass and trees? And a lot of this probably will depend on the biome that we're in specific. So it's that, but I'm talking about in general the average thing. Or maybe the way we should be thinking about this is, I guess it sort of depends on where Luna and Nico are. I'm not entirely sure what island they're on, if they're on the King's Island. Probably not. I would assume that they would be on a neighboring island, because the King's Island is where all the business is. And when I think of this show as of right now, I don't really think of them being on the like big business city island. I think of them more in a rural area. So yeah. Cornflowers? Well, possibly. So if we're just thinking about the area that we want Luna and Nico to be in, do we want there to be a lot of variety in flowers? I would assume we would, right? Moss roses, fields of forget-me-nots. Yeah, okay. So I think we'll probably want a good variety of just common flowers. It's just, they're gonna be very basic flowers. Is there an orange leaf? Well, orange leaves are associated with fall. Now, here's the thing. We've already decided that Ilaria was not going to have seasons that would just stay the same temperature all year round. So I don't know scientifically what that would look like as far as like if it's all going to be... I don't think it would be fall, because I think that's when the temperatures are starting to get cooler, but I would assume that most of the trees and stuff would stay green all year round. But I don't know for sure. There can still be different colors of leaves, even if it's not a fall season. Right. Okay, so that's a good question, right? Do we want there to be a large abundance of trees that are just naturally different colors? Because on Earth, when you think of trees, you think of green, right? But on Ilaria, there could be tons of different trees that are just naturally different colors, not depending on the seasons. It's just that kind of tree, you know? Like, it could look just like this tree, like an oak tree, for example, but it's just a different color of leaf. So, what's the reason for not having seasons? Well, to be perfectly honest, the biggest reason is for when Luna comes to Earth. Well, presumably it'll be during summer or spring for Nico. So that way, it's going to be like, you know, normal, and Luna's going to be like, yeah, this is pretty similar to Ilaria. But then, as soon as it becomes winter, it's going to be like, whoa, what is this snow? And then we can have a whole episode focused around snow and, like, Christmas and stuff like that. And so, it's just going to be, like, that was the main reason. You already have Forever Yellow Tree and Purple. What? You already have Forever Tree Purple. Is that... Am I missing something? Are you talking about one of the things up here? With these tree? Like this one? This one's a purple tree. Is that what you're talking about? Or am I missing something? This one? Talking about very generic trees. Because like the trees up here, all of these plants and stuff are going to be a bit more rare. So you're not going to see them everywhere. But I'm just talking about like a generic background shot. What kind of trees could you expect? You know? Like I assume the trees are going to look all very similar. It's just different color variations. So there could be, you know, a yellow tree and a red tree that all have... They all look the same, they're just different colors. What, Kwanzaa and Hanukkah? Well, yeah, we could do... I'm just saying, as an example, just a winter-themed episode. Orange, pink, and purple, right. I'm just asking if we are okay with having a variety of colors or if we wanted it to all stay green. Green, teal, purple, pink trees. Right. We could do all of that. I'm just asking, I'm just trying to get an idea if Ilaria is going to be a colorful world or more of a green world. Because Earth, you think of blue and green, right? But Ilaria, you could be thinking of multiple different colors, not just green and blue for water. And I'm even open to making some water like different colors just depending on like sort of the area that it runs through. Like if there's a patch of crystals in a lake, it could turn that entire like river pink for a while. And then eventually maybe there's another patch of crystals and then that dyes the water a different color. So it could just be a very colorful world. Can we do teal, please? Yes, we will do teal. Purple is quite rare. And some pink water. Yeah. That'd be cool. I can't wait to do biomes. Because then we can sort of like design... Like for the biomes, I don't know how we're going to do it. But I sort of want to do just like an image, right? And that image will show like sort of the generic watercolor of that biome, the trees, and just foliage and plants and everything that you can expect to see in that biome just captured in a single image. So then we can just sort of say, okay, this is what this biome will look like. And then it's like, okay, so this is the generic basis for this area. I can't remember what I said as far as the order of things that we have to do. As far as continuing on with world building and stuff. I'll have to go back in that stream and watch it. But that comes... Well, isn't that sooner? I feel like I said that was sooner than than actually creating the islands, right? Because we wanted to create the biomes and then be able to just place them in, right? Isn't that what we were talking about? Water is transparent, right? I think technically it is, right? Or maybe it has just a little bit of blue tint. I don't remember what scientifically makes it have a blue tint. But typically when you think of water in cartoons and stuff, you think of it as blue. So, yeah, I don't remember exactly what makes it blue, but if you take water in a clear glass, it looks clear. So, yeah. There should be a tree that leaks a honey-like substance and forms lakes around the forest. That's interesting. So would the honey-like substance, would that be the lake water? And so would the water be like sticky? I don't know if I'd like that, but it could be interesting. Plants, animals, ecosystems / biomes, and then islands. Right. Okay, so we need to do animals next. And if we're like, okay, well, we don't really need to talk about plants anymore, we can start talking about some generic animals in this stream as well. Yes, sticky water, but only in some parts, obviously. That's odd. I don't know. What if, well, I don't know. I was just trying to think of this logically, like a tree, and it's like, because, okay, for example, these islands are just floating, right? So what if the way that water came onto the island, since all the water is constantly flowing off the islands, right? Eventually, like, even with precipitation, like, there's not enough water for it to be continually flowing, right? But what if around all over the place, there's these trees, and they have super long trunks, but they don't seem that tall to us if we're standing on the island, but they are actually super tall because they dig a hole straight through the bottom of the island, and the roots, there's still a trunk through the bottom of the tree. So if you were looking at an island at an eye level, you would just see these trunks going down into the water. And then what these trees do is they suck up the water, and then they, like, once it gets sort of to the top, the water just starts flowing out of the tree, and that's what creates the rivers on Ilaria. So, I don't know. That's just an idea, because, like, how else is water going to get onto the islands without, just precipitation? Sticky water, but only in some parts. A lake under purple blooms, which is pink because of the oils of the roots. Yeah. So there could be different sort of plants affecting the water and sort of what it looks like in that certain area. Like a fountain plant. Right. So it would be similar to, where was it? Here it is. So it could be similar to this, but this one obviously flows back into itself. But there could be another plant that just ejects water, and it takes water from the base of the of the planet, and then it puts it onto the islands. And obviously, the water streams will eventually flow off the islands because that's just how it works. So yeah, it'll all flow. So it'll just be a big cycle, right? The trees suck up the water onto the islands, and then the water eventually flows off the islands back into the abyss. So yeah, I don't know. If nobody likes that idea, we don't have to do it, but that was just sort of my idea for how we could get water. And then, depending on those trees, like, the natural watercolor could be blue, but let's say, for example, one of those trees turned red, then the water coming out could be red for a while, and then it'll eventually just, fade back into its blue color. Takes the water to eat the fish, doesn't need the actual water Oh, that's interesting. So it's a carnivore. That's a good idea. So the tree eats fish, but then it's like, nah, I don't need all this water, and then just spits it out. That's an interesting idea. The water on the plant's surface could be extremely hot, so evaporation occurs way more, which means more rain for the islands. Well, do we want it to be rainy? Because if that's the case, then I feel like it's just going to be a rainy season all year. And then it's like, if it's raining, 4 out of the 7 days of the week, that's a lot. And that means that there's going to be a lot of rainy episodes, and nobody particularly likes the rainy episodes. So, I mean, from a technical standpoint, yes, that's a good idea. But as far as, a show's perspective, I don't know if I like that. Because, like, then it's just going to be a lot of rain. Rain every once in a while is good, but not constant rain. Can one of the islands have water that's made of sugar, like syrup? I mean, we were sort of talking about a honey-like thing, so it could be similar to that. And then that could just be like a very common resource that people use for cooking. So they just like, take their glass, scoop it up, and then be like, oh, okay, well that's good for the next week, Can there be big floating blogs of water? What do you mean blob? I assume you mean blob. What do you mean big floating blobs? I mean, like, if somebody's doing water magic, then sure, but I don't know if that's gonna work. It's hard to have aesthetic and practicality. Yeah, that's the hard thing. That's why we have to have these discussions. It's super important because we can't just say, okay, well, for me, I like having everything be explained, so that way it's easy to understand, and then it's not like there's any weird, well, how did this happen? It's just like, okay, well, it doesn't matter. It's just, it's whatever. It happens because it happens. So I like everything to be explained, which is why having these discussions is so important. Even if it's boring and nobody likes it, that's fine, but it has to be done. We don't really have a choice. Okay. Will there be legends created about these lakes? Possibly. I don't know. Sort of depends on, like, what kind of legends, Like, if these lakes are super common, then maybe not. But if there's, like, a rare tree that, like, turns the water black, then there could be a legend about that, Can I get a quick recap of what's going on so far? As far as this stream, or just in general, because in general, you're probably going to want to go check out all the recap episodes. So we have recap episodes that go out every Tuesday, so recommended that you go check that out. Magic could make it change color, but it should be randomized into the meaning of colors. The plant could detect the feelings of one near it. That could be interesting. There could be a plant like that. So then if somebody's super angry, a plant sort of detects that. Sort of like, which plant was it? Was it this one? Right. So it can die around broken hearts, and people who are in love, it turns gold. So it could be sort of similar to that. It's just, it affects the things around you. And maybe the plant itself could turn a different color. So there could be plants sort of similar to that around. The volatile gems are magical and attract water to keep stable temperature. So you have water that go up as well as down. That's also a good idea. So there's just naturally water beams going up to the islands. Okay, we could do that too. If there's a shortage of water, it could be good for world building if water creators are needed and validated by society. So maybe instead of naturally flowing water beams, that's sort of their job as water magic users, is to bring the water up through something. Because maybe Maybe there's just not enough, like, maybe we can have those trees that suck up the water, maybe not, I don't know. But that might not be enough, like, that's just enough to keep the water flowing in the rivers. But there still needs to be water for appliances, doing dishes, and stuff like that. So they're going to need more than just that basic river water. So maybe they have to have, like, tubes that go down into the ocean, and then the water magic people just bring it up. That's a good idea. I think that's a good way for them to be used in society. Imagine if Nico and Luna are there and the plants are glowing whatever color for love and they get embarrassed. Yeah. Yeah. Although, okay. That could happen in, well, that would probably either be before they got together or like very early stages. Because eventually, I want them to have a dynamic to where like it's established that they're together. They know that, and they work better together knowing that fact, right? So it's just like their dynamic is so strong and they're great partners and their relationship just enhances that. That's what I look for, and it's so rare in shows to see that. Sword Art Online is by far like the only one to really do that, and that's why I like that one so much, is because the dynamic between the two main characters, that's like the only show that I've ever seen that has done that. So like that's sort of the dynamic between the characters that I'm looking for. So I do want them to get to, I don't want it to be like, oh, final episode, we're going to get together now. No, they're going to get together early on in the show. At least, at the very latest, halfway through season 2. As it's looking right now, there's 3 seasons, but that could obviously change. So halfway through season 2 at the latest, at least gives their a season and a half to see their dynamic as characters evolve. So, yeah. Imagine Nico jumping in a waterfall to fall down and ends up higher than he wanted. This is not where I wanted to go. Stupid planet. Yeah, I think the best thing about exploring new worlds is seeing the characters who are not from that world get to experience just the weirdness of that new world. So, yeah. Will you make a video on Queen Banana? I already did. I did that yesterday, so go check that out. Yeah. All right. Did I skip anything on my rant there? Nope, it doesn't look like it. All right, so we've sort of talked about the trees. Okay, so do we want the trees to be taller? Are we just gonna make like different variations of earth trees? I don't think we should make it too complicated. It should just be similar but different enough. Like even just having color variation between just like earth looking trees is good enough, I think. Doesn't have to be like too particular, I don't think. I want Nico to have a huge poppleberry addiction. I do too. I think we should too. Pure white wheat? We must save my family? What's going on? How about a lake that makes people fall in love temporarily? Nah, I don't like that. Denied! Sorry. I don't like that stuff. It should be pure based on the person, I think. Oh, I haven't seen the abridged, sorry. I do like the poppleberries. The poppleberries are such a cool idea and I love it. Like, I want to try it now. Like, it just seems like such a cool idea. I love it. There would be more trees on Ilaria than Earth. Well, yeah, Ilarians typically are more focused on sort of protecting, you know, magic and nature all plays into one. Because, you know, obviously Earth magic is sort of related to nature. So they need more nature than Earth does. And that's sort of the whole idea, like, they're starting to stray away from that a little bit more as their technology, or, well, no, they're relying on it too much. And so I think if they're relying on the nature too much, then it's like it's starting to affect the nature in a negative way. And that's why they need to sort of go to Earth to get some of their technology, so that way they can stop straining the nature and the planet and the ecosystems there. So that's sort of the whole idea, like, okay, well, they need to tone it down, and then Earth needs to accept some of Ilaria's nature ways, so that way Earth's technology is not destroying their planet, so that way they can heal their planet, you know, care more about nature and start relying on nature a little bit more. So, yeah. Mix some berry and some Coke, add some mints, and put the mouth fast on the bottle. Yeah, the Coke and Mentos. That's funny. That would be funny. Okay. So, trees are decaying slowly. Well, I don't know if it's necessarily that they're decaying slowly. I don't know what the overall problem is that Ilaria is facing, but it's something with nature being overused, and that, I don't know, I feel like because if they're using too much magic and that's sort of what's causing the issue, I don't know if it's because magic is directly correlated with nature, or I think the way that we're describing magic right now is it's from Ilaria. It's like a gift from the planet Ilaria. So the core could be strained. I don't know how they would know that. Maybe it's just like magic overall is getting weaker, and that's sort of what the problem is. It might not have everything to do with nature, but I do think it should have some sort of ties with nature. So maybe if the core is being strained, like, just like how Ilarians rely on mana, maybe the plants rely on mana too. And so they can't thrive as well, and they start dying quicker if they don't have their, regular mana supply. So maybe that does play into it a bit. And so they just need to start toning it down a little bit, Can you please get a quick recap of the animation so far? Yeah, okay, so for that, you're gonna have to go to a different video. There's too much to recap. Like, I can't just do a quick recap on everything. Like, today we're just doing some plants, but if you want to recap, you're gonna have to go... There's a specific recap stream where we talked about everything, pretty much. Anyone have the link to that real quick? I might be able to find it. Nope, that's the wrong one. There we go. Copy link. Alright. Yeah. Alright, there you go. You got it. Thank you. Yeah, so if you are really interested, check out that link. And then check out all the recaps after that, and then you'll be all caught up. But that's multiple hours, so... yeah. Depends on how invested you are. Okie dokie. Nature is magical in its own way. Right. If water this sticky, then how does it fall off the island? Well, not all of the water would be sticky. There would only be like certain areas where it would stick. And even then, just because it's sticky doesn't mean it sticks to all substances. So like it could just easily flow off dirt, but like it could be sticky to the touch. So... Is mana like energy? Well, not like electricity, but like it could be described as some sort of form of energy. So possibly it could be like energy. Okay, do we still need to be talking about plants? So we want to sort of transition on to generic animals as well. Because here's the thing, right? This might even be a more important discussion because plants, it's like, all right, whatever. But the animals, if you want to be unique and have unique animals on Ilaria, you've got a lot of, like, as far as just generic bugs and rabbits and stuff like that, if you're wanting to make unique variations, that's a lot of work, because that means that pretty much every single animal that you might see, like a squirrel, a rabbit, every single bug has to be unique. So that's why it's really difficult to come on a conclusive decision. Now, Avatar, for example, they went the route of just, you know, taking Earth-like animals and just changing them slightly, like giving them a second tail or whatever. And so that's how they did their animal system. Their plants were pretty much just exactly like Earth, but their animals were a bit different. So it just sort of depends on if we want the Ilarian animals, like let's take for example a squirrel, right? I think there should still be Ilarian squirrels, right? And there can be unique animals too. That is perfectly fine, and I want there to be unique animals. I'm just talking about everyday generic animals like a squirrel, right? I think there should be some sort of Ilarian squirrel, but does it look similar to an Earth squirrel, or does it look like a mutated squirrel, you know? It's Ace. This is just for fun as of right now. We don't have any plans to get this officially animated or anything. Will the plants and animals have any purpose for the plot? It's just to fill the world, I think. So, like, you know, if you see a squirrel running through the background, like, you could see that, and then it transitions over to the characters to show that they're in the forest or something. So, yeah, I don't know. Or there could even be an episode where, you know, Luna wants to, or maybe Nico wants to take, like, get a pet squirrel or something, and so he's chasing after the squirrel. Squirrel / bunny mix. So we could do hybrids. But the question is, do we want the hybrids to be the only animals there, or do we want them to be, like, in addition to just generic squirrels and generic rabbits, there's also hybrids. Squirrels are in pants? Yeah. Phineas and Ferb. I know that one. How about Magic Zebra? Well, maybe, but I don't know what it would do. More limbs than normal animals. Well, here's the thing. A lot of Ilarians, I suppose, just like of the creatures that actually have enough intelligence to form a society, like the everyday people of Ilaria, a lot of them are based on Earth lore, and so they're dwarves and elves and things like that. So I think it's perfectly acceptable if we're just like, okay, you know what? Ilaria is just going to have some Earth-like creatures. Like, they're just going to have normal squirrels. It's not like we're going to be seeing them too often, and it's not like there's going to be a full episode focused on them. It's just for the background and filling the background, so I'm not sure if it's too important. We can always add an extra tail to something, or give it a little bit of variation as far as color goes. Like maybe a pink squirrel, I don't know. But obviously there's going to be more unique creatures on Ilaria, which we're going to focus on more. But I'm just talking about, for world building purposes, I think it's fine if we're just like, okay, if we want to include a rabbit, you know, we can change like maybe the ears. Like maybe the ears are super long compared to just, you know, like a average bunny ear. But in general, we're not going to redesign every single animal that we want to be on Ilaria. It's just like, we'll take an Earth animal, change a couple things, and then we're going to be done. So is that good? Like, that way we don't have to create brand new animals when we just need like a basic background animal. You know? Sentient mushrooms, sentient marshmallows. Keep some of them as pets while other hunt them down for food. Some animals should have magical abilities like healing, so that way they can help in jobs like doctor. Well, yeah, but I'm talking about just generic plants. Obviously, the sentient mushroom pets and the marshmallow pets and whatever. That's obviously cool. And we'll have a separate stream where we come up with different ideas for unique things. But just like, this is just the very generic plants and animals stream. So, yeah. You could have a species off of the pink Amazon River dolphin. Interesting. Here's the thing. A lot of ocean life we're not going to see because they're on an island, floating island. So I don't know. I do want there to be some sort of like underwater episode where Luna and Nico have to go travel like below the islands, and it's like super dangerous and nobody's ever come back alive or whatever. Like maybe there's like 3 people that have done it alive and whatever. But I think for the most part, we're not going to be seeing too many underwater animals. Poison jaguar, whose tooth heals you. Well, would it be poison if it's healing you, or what? Oh, hi Scoredrift. Thanks so much for the donation. An animal that releases a gas that makes people cough. It's called Corona. Okay. Well, no, I don't think we should do that. I mean, we could do that similar concept, but I don't know if we want to have that direct reference. You know? Elarians can't swim. I wouldn't say Elarians can't swim. Like, there's definitely enough area for there to be ponds and stuff on the islands. It's just the ocean life is not going to be explored, and nobody's really going to know about ocean life because here's the island, here's the ocean. You know, like there, the space in between is just air. So like nobody really goes down into the ocean because it's just like, how are you going to get back up and stuff? So yeah. Oh, the fur is poison, the teeth heals you. Okay. Well, this all sounds like stuff that we would have to do for next stream. You know? We're just doing generic stuff this week. That would be funny if Luna goes to a pool and can't even swim, but it wouldn't really make sense. Well, maybe. That could be an interesting experience, and then Nico has to teach her how to swim. Like, that could be a fun Earth experience. Like, maybe on Ilaria, it's less common to know how to swim since there's just not as much water. However, it doesn't make too much sense because Luna is a water user. And so if you're a water user, it's kind of well, okay, maybe actually that's a good point, right? If she's a water user, depending on how we end up doing like creation and manipulation and whatever, if she is a water user, maybe instead of like swimming normally, she just swims by moving the water around her instead of swimming with her arms and doing the momentum. So when she goes to Earth, she might not know how to swim because she's so used to having magic and just, you know, moving through the water with the magic that maybe she just doesn't know how to swim normally. And so that could be a fun experience. Because Luna could be on Earth and be like, man, I should know how to do this. I'm an expert at water magic. And then it's like she forgets that she's not on Ilaria and she can't swim. And she's like, help me. I don't know how to swim. I think that could be fun. So maybe it's like everybody knows how to swim except for water users because they're just so used to... Well, water users are probably better in the water since they can just manipulate the water. But if they're on a place that just doesn't do magic, then it's like, oh shoot, they're the only ones that have the disadvantage because they're the only ones who don't know how to swim normally. So, yeah. Spiders are 10 times bigger, but they are very friendly and their webs always used as lace. They are fluffy and pastel. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of spiders. You know? We'll see. We'll see. Maybe. Maybe as like... Maybe. I don't... We'll see. How do I feel about a bloodthirsty squirrel? Creepy. That's how I feel about it. Imagine if Nico can swim like a fish and then Luna's just like, yeah. Puppy spiders? Nah, that's just too weird. Can we have magic bears that control the moon? No. The moon is just not, it's not going to be controlled by an animal. It's just, the moon's going to be a moon. There can be magical bears, but just not anything with the moon. Oh, flying fish. They are pests, maybe even a flying octopus, and it looks like a flower as well. They are friendly, or jellyfish. Yeah, okay. Yeah, flying fish. Just there's bound to be more flying unique things. Just unique creatures in general. But yeah, that'll be for an animal stream. Which, I mean, we could do next stream or not. I don't know. Just depends on what we want to do. Pandas, but they are one color and very fluffy with big eyes. Okay. Wolves that can manipulate plants? So basically an earth-bending wolf. Or, not bending. An earth magic wolf. So a grizzly? An evil dolphin? Dolphins seem more like ocean. So maybe, okay, I'm perfectly fine with having there be like a small side episode where it's Luna and Nico going down to the ocean and then they meet these evil dolphin or mermaid people. And then it's like, oh shoot, we've come into their territory we weren't supposed to. This is the reason why people never come back after going down here and why it's so dangerous. And they just have to defeat the bad dolphins or mermaid people, you know. Cloud jellyfish? Yeah. It's a good idea. Well, what should we do now? I don't know what I was expecting with today. I just knew that we needed to have this discussion as far as like the generic stuff. So, just sort of as a recap, most things are going to be the same on Ilaria that are on Earth. It's just there's going to be variation in color. So like, for example, plants will have different colors. Like there can be different colors of grass, different colors of flowers, different colors of leaves. And then for animals, there can be different colors of like animals. There can just be different colors of them. And then like there could just be also variations, whereas like a squirrel, for example, it would look very similar to an earth squirrel. It's just it has multiple tails. So yeah, it's just going to be similar to earth but slightly different. So yeah. Will there be blood in some episodes? Probably. I don't know. Depends on how intense we make it, I suppose. I don't know. We'll see. Alright, need some water. Right. It sort of depends on what rating we are going for the show, because if we're going more PG, can't be as much blood. If we're going more PG-13, then we have a lot more freedom with that. So, and I honestly don't know what we're gonna do. Because you can definitely get away with some blood in a PG, but at the same time, it's like you're very limited with what you can do. So I don't know. We'll see. All right, what are we doing now? We've got an hour left of this stream. And then that will be it for this week. Again, like I said, this is a boring stream, but it was necessary because now we can actually start, you know, doing biomes and start creating just a general look of what Ilaria would feel like. I think we all have a fairly good idea of what we can sort of expect. It's a lot of, as far as just generics go, like generic trees and stuff, it's going to look pretty similar to Earth, just different colors. So, go wild, do not have it boring, interactions with plants and such. Well, yeah, obviously there's going to be quite a few unique plants and stuff. I'm just saying, as of right now, we needed background trees. We needed just grass, you know? We had to have some plants and trees to fill the space. And now that we have that, it's not just like, okay, well, we have a unique tree here and a unique flower here, but it's just like we don't have anything in the background. You know, now that we have just a generic background filler thing, now it's like, okay, it's starting to look more complete. How will we do the flashback where Nico loses his eye? I don't know. That's a good question because we don't even know how Nico actually lost his eye. So maybe we should talk about that. I don't know. Can you give an outline of the next step for the series after world building? So after world building, it depends on where you count as after world building, because world building super important. But if you're talking about like once we're completely done and we're just ready to start writing the story, then basically once we have world building all done, then we've got to come up with the plot. And now I know we have a basic generic plot, but I want to sort of say this is where we're going to start, this is where we're going to end, here's all the main events that are going to occur, and then we'll start spacing out the episodes. And obviously there's going to be some filler episodes and here and there and stuff like that, but we're going to sort of design a here to here flow chart of a series of events of what we want to have occur in the series. Then we're going to start placing them into episodes, right? And then for any like side arc stuff, so like for example the romantic side of things, that's going to be a whole another flow chart. It's going to be like, okay, obviously the beginning is this, they don't know each other. End point is they get together, and then, or well, I guess that would sort of be the middle point if we're having it like halfway or whatever. And then the end point is just like they are like super good or something, I don't know. But then in between here we'll have different series of events, like obviously they're going to be fighting and stuff like that, and then so their relationship will be a separate flowchart, and then the plot will have a separate flowchart, and then whatever else is important is going to have a separate flowchart. So that's sort of what I want to do as far as after world building. And then I'm willing to go as far as to, I guess it sort of depends on if we want to start, if we want these to be like they're actual episodes, they have a script, we get people to voice the characters, that's cool. Or if we want, we can turn this into more of a book style of thing. So then we wouldn't be writing a script as much, we would be writing a book. So I don't know. Or a comic would work too. I don't know how we would do that because I don't know. But we'll have to talk about that. That is more for like in the future, and I don't even know how long away that is and stuff like that. So use interesting angles so you don't show blood, or maybe a different color of blood. Like is all purple and his blood might be like that, then it's bluish, right. So I don't know, it just sort of depends on the species. The species might have different blood colors and stuff like that. There's ways around it, so I don't know, we'll just have to see. Can't wait for the stream for them falling in love. Well, yeah, I don't know when that's gonna be, but a romance stream. Mysterious spy horses. I don't know what that even means. That's... Yeah, I don't know. Maybe a comic with voiceovers? Well, the thing is, people have to draw the comics. And so I don't know... Like, obviously, actually drawing stuff takes a lot of time. So, yeah, I don't know. It's easier just to write stuff. Obviously, it takes, you know, a lot of time to write stuff as well. It's just more... I would sort of argue that it's easier... Like, I could probably write... I can't draw for my life, but I can at least write stuff. So... Yeah, I can actually do some of the work if it was a... well, even then, like, it's not like... If it was a comic format, you would have different teams. So you'd have a writing team and a drawing team. It's just there's the added step of a drawing team versus just a writing team, you know? So, yeah, it sort of just depends on what we decide to do in the future and who's willing to do what, stuff like that. So, yeah. I feel like the story has become a lot less about the notebooks. Well, yeah. I mean, it has. That was just sort of the base idea to get it started. So now, I mean, the notebooks are the big part in season 1, but after Luna and Nico get their own bond, then it's less about the notebooks. I mean, they'll definitely still use the notebooks to like communicate with each other in certain circumstances. But it's not super ideal since, you know, someone's obviously spying on them with it. So, yeah. For the name... Well, okay. It's just... I don't know. I don't even know what we're going to do. Because here's the thing, right? There's already a show called Page Turner. It's some sort of, like, Korean drama thing. So I don't even know, like, just for copyright reasons, if we're going to have to change the name... I don't know, since this is just like a fun project that's not really going anywhere as of right now, it's not that big of a deal, but just putting a fair warning that the name might need to be changed due to potential copyright reasons. But I don't actually know, because like there's the movie Avatar, and then there's the show Avatar: The Last Airbender as well, so they're obviously two different things, but they have the same name, pretty much. I mean, obviously, Avatar is Avatar: The Last Airbender, and Avatar is just Avatar, but, yeah. Turn pager? Yeah, no. Sure, if we look hard enough, we can find somebody who can draw a comic. Well, finding people is not really the issue. It's just, one, it costs money, and I don't have that kind of money. So... yeah, I can't afford to pay somebody to just draw comics professionally, you know? It's like, this is a very low funded show, because this, I mean, like on YouTube, this series doesn't make like anything because it hardly gets any views whatsoever. So like, yeah, I'm just doing this series because I find it fun. So there's no financial gain from this series. So, yeah. The show starts with Luna and Nico getting the notebooks, and then it ends with them getting the master. Well, yeah, okay, that's a good point. It does all sort of revolve around itself. Kickstarter? I mean, technically, yes, we could do a Kickstarter, but I don't know what the odds of that becoming a thing. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. That is a long ways away. All right. There's people that make fan comics. Maybe you could talk to. I don't know. Add the and it's the page turner. Might be nice to have as a translation, the image being burned into a page narrator. Can the show have a narrator? What do you mean, like, a narrator? Like, the only thing that I think of when you say narrator is I think of the Love is War series and then the narrator guy. That's the only thing I really think of with that. So I don't know how that would incorporate into the show, but possibly. I don't know. Can there be dragons? Well, literally the main character is part dragon, so yes, there will be dragons. Yeah, okay, guys. This show evolving into something more than just us making something for fun, that's going to come so much later because we're not even close to doing any of that, right? We still have a lot of world building to do with the Ilaria. And then, well, okay, I say that, but we're actually probably closer than I'm making it out to be because as far as a timeline goes, we have to do animals. We have to do... Obviously, we have to do islands, we have to do biomes, we have to do a bunch of different stuff with that. So that's actually going to take quite some time. Then we have to do more characters. But, like, there's going to have to be a part 2 stream for all the different characters. We're going to have to redo Xavier's character. So there is quite a lot to do. But as far as, like, a checklist of what we have to do, it's not probably as big as I'm making it out to be. And it's like... I mean, sure, it's going to take another year, but it's coming along. Like, essentially, in theory, we could start writing episodes right now. It's just, it would be sort of shallow, because it's not like, we don't have every single thing planned out. And that's sort of the way I want to approach this. I want to have everything planned out before we start writing episodes, because to me, that just... makes for a more fulfilling series because it's like you know exactly where you want it to go and end, you know? It's not just like shoot, what do we do here? How about you just do this? And it's like, okay, well then that creates issues in the future. It's like, but when you have it all planned out, you talked about this, and it's not like, oh shoot, we already had the episode animated and now we've got to roll with it just cuz, and then we have to like change the future just because of one mistake we made. So yeah, a lot of things there. Once upon a time, there was a X, and then we find out the whole we find out who the narrator is. So the story is a story told by somebody, just why it's a page turner. That's interesting. So like, for example, it's Nico when he's older telling this to like his children. Maybe that could be interesting. I don't think the narrator... If we did do a narrator like that, I think I would want it to be Nico. Because then what you could do is at the very end, and you could just have it like... You could just sort of show a book closing, and then you see an older version of Nico, and he's like... And that's how I met your mother, and whatever, and then you see like 3 kids sitting there. And it's like, whoa, we get to see Nico in the future with his kids. And so then you could even go as far as to just have a couple extra episodes just based around that. And then you could see like Nico interacting with his kids or whatever. So that could be interesting. Right. Nico reads it to his son, yeah. So that could be interesting. Or he gives a notebook to you so you can be the next page turner in your life. Yeah, I don't know. That's something that we can talk about. But again, that's sort of like when we actually start writing episodes, whether or not we want to decide to do that. So, yeah. I know everybody's so eager to actually start writing episodes. But like, I know I'm eager to. I want to. But it's just like, we still got a lot to do. Page turner, the worlds of Luna and Nico. Well, I don't think it should be the worlds. Page turner, the story of Luna and Nico or something. I don't know. Is there a need for a narrator? I mean, show don't tell. Yeah, I don't know. It sort of just depends on if we would want to see it. I don't think the narrator would mostly be for like the first episode and then the last episode, but even then I don't know if it would make too much sense for the first episode. Just sort of depends on how he decided to write it, but yeah. Do you remember how this series started? Well, somebody I can't remember specifically who started the notebook idea, but I do remember that the very initial idea was some sort of like clock thing, and then like you could time travel to different periods of time, and then it was like you had to find all the different pieces of the clock or something. Nobody ended up liking that idea, so yeah. Can we do like a history of Ilaria with major events, like a war of some sort? I don't really think there's gonna be a war on Ilaria. Like the closest thing to a war is just the battle with the demons. But even then, like I suppose any other type of war, like I'm pretty sure for pretty much all of time, Ilaria has just been under one ruling, and that's sort of just been cycled through. So I don't think there's actually going to be too many wars and fighting with Ilaria. It's just mostly fighting the demons. So. How are we doing on time? We've got like 45 minutes. In the Let's Make a Cartoon itself, I remember you saying something about streaming on Miraculous Monday, and you talking about if there was... Well, okay. This has been an idea that I've had as far as the Let's Make a Cartoon series. I've had this idea for a while. It's just I never ended up doing it. And then I did talk about it on a Miraculous Monday, and then that sort of piqued people's interest, and then they were like, huh, what's that about? Let's do it. I was like, all right, fine, I'll actually start doing it. Yeah, and if I were a show... Yeah, I think that's sort of where the idea for this whole series came about, as far as like the Let's Make a Cartoon series, not the Page Turner series. So that's sort of what it would be. But, yeah. That's, I think, where it came to be. I've gotten a lot of ideas for series on just me rambling on a Miraculous Monday. So, yeah, I don't know... I mean, I say that, but I don't know if I could list a lot. Probably some of the meme ones I've thought of in my head while doing the Miraculous Monday. It's like, oh, there's an idea, but I never, like, talked about it or whatever. But, yeah. But one thing I've learned in doing this and hosting Page Turner is nobody seems to like my ideas that much. So, I don't think I would make a very good solo show creator because nobody... likes, like, I might have like one good idea, but then like I only get one out of every 5 ideas that are good. So yeah, it's good that we're all making it together, so that way my bad ideas don't ruin everything. So yeah, but it's more fun if you have more people involved, you know. It's like, I wouldn't want to just do this by myself. I feel like that would be sad. It's more fun to collaborate and bounce ideas off of each other. Because even if I have one bad idea, or 10 or whatever, like somebody might be like, we can use a certain part of that, but let's just morph it into this better idea. And it's like, okay, well, at least I contributed. Can you voice Luna? Okay, well, here's the thing, right? First of all, we got to get to a point to where we actually need voices, all right? Second of all, we need to have auditions, right? We're not just going to accept random people. You know, we're going to have auditions and find the best person for the job. So, yeah. Oh, you like many of my ideas? Thank you. Yeah, more fun, more arguments, more disagreements. Yeah, it's fun. I enjoy, like, having discussions and stuff. Like, this is what I think. This is what other people think, you know? But I think a lot of the issue is I have something in my head that either A, doesn't make sense, or B, makes sense, and I just can't describe what I'm thinking of. And it's like, by the time it's like, I just don't even know what I'm trying to say anymore. So a lot of my ideas came from things that I just had in my head from a really long time ago. And so I was just still trying to incorporate them. And so when I ended up bringing them up, it's like, well, that doesn't really work anymore because it was an idea that I had a long time ago or whatever. But, yeah. You go too much to the list and don't go wild? I don't go wild? What do you mean by going wild? I don't know. When we start getting in, like, I think when I have a base, like for example for Miraculous, like there's already a base, there's already a plot. It's just my ideas are appended based on the thing that's already created. Creating something from scratch is a lot different than modifying something that's already been created. And so I think that's where a lot of it comes from. And also, especially since this show is created by a bunch of people, a lot of my ideas would be if it was just me creating it. But since everybody has their own ideas and it's hard to appease everybody, and so in order to make it something that everybody is happy with, and obviously there's going to be some things that people are like, well, I don't really like this, and then other things where another person's like, well, I don't like this, and this other person's happy or whatever. So it's just hard to make everybody happy, and there's a lot of compromising when you have a lot of people working on one thing. So, oh, just brainstorming live. The show is plot driven by character driven. Yeah, okay, so I mean, that's sort of what the very first 2 episodes of this show was. It was just us sitting here brainstorming. And that's sort of what we're doing right now. Well, not even, I wouldn't say. It's just us going on about random stuff now. But, yeah, it's been a while since we've done just like a pure, you know, no topic for an episode. It's just brainstorm. But honestly, we're at a point to where there's so much to do. And there's so many specific things that we have to do. It's like just doing a brainstorming stream. It's like, well, what would we like? I feel like there has to be a topic to talk about. Yes, but not. We're lost in details that you can't go wild anymore. I miss spamming you guys. Well, yeah, okay. That's there's gonna be more of that when we're actually like writing episodes, because then it's like, well, we're just brainstorming like, okay, what do we want Luna and Nico to do today? You know? So that's going to be more interesting. As far as we're at a point where we have to world build and we have to develop a world that we've come up with the base idea. Now we have to build up on that base. But then there will be a point to where we're actually like just brainstorming and be like, all right, what do we want to have happen in episode 1? And it's like, okay, we'll write this and this. And then that's when it's going to be fun and interesting and random and there's no this or that. So then it's just everybody's going wild. We got to wait for that. It will eventually come, but it'll just be a little while. So, your good friend TVC could voice Luna. Well, like I said, we're going to have to do auditions and stuff like that. I don't want one person to be picked just because I know them, you know? So, I mean, for example, if TVC was the perfect fit for Luna, that's great. But I would want to have people who are interested audition and then pick the best voice for the character, not just pick somebody based on someone I know, right? So, yeah. I like to be fair in who I'm picking and things like that. You're making this while making a superhero cartoon solo. Oh, that's pretty cool. Good luck with that. Huge watermelon poppleberries. Huge watermelon. There could be some big ones. You're right. We would need a script before we audition for a voice, right? So I would think what we should do is write all of the scripts first, but maybe if we get ahead of ourselves, we can, you know, write 5 scripts or whatever and then voice people. So I don't know. What animation style is it going to be? Well, in my head, and sort of all of the official designs so far have been 2D. I don't know, like I said, I don't even know if this is actually going to be animated or if it's going to be a comic or if it's just, you know, people have thrown around the idea of just like self-animating a 3D kind of show. So, I don't know. Again, these are all questions and stuff that we're going to have to ask when it's actually closer to time doing that, because we still got a lot to do before then. So, and things could dramatically change, you know? Like, for example, if Disney or Netflix was like, hey, we want to make this a thing, then it's like, okay, well, then that whole side of things is sort of out of my hands, and it's like, well, I don't really have a say in the matter because it's up to them at that point, I would think. But yeah, Nico selling his coat for Poppleberry to drill. That would be sad though. Well, I assume if it's like anything like your typical cartoon, he would have like a bunch of different coats, you know. But yeah, it'd be sad if Nico only had one coat and it was custom made, and then he had to get rid of it. That'd be sad because I love Nico's outfit right now. And so many people are like, no, it's too adventure-y for everyday life. And it's like, no, I like it, you know? Luna buys it back. Yeah, Luna. That's fun. I really hope this becomes a real show on TV. That'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it? Yep. If Netflix ever comes, their dying platform, do not take it. What? Netflix isn't dying. I wouldn't say Netflix is dying. I don't want to sound harsh, but I doubt any company will approach it. Well, yeah, obviously. I'm just saying, in the event that it happened, you know. Usually you need to pitch a show and make a pilot. Right, I know. I'm just saying, in the event that a show was like, hey, that a company was like, hey, we like this, you know, odds are super limited. But I'm just saying, in the event. Okay, and honestly, doing that would take away these streams because it would turn into a more private thing. And even then, like, I don't think a company would be like, okay, well, basically everything about this show has been revealed through your streams. Now, it's not like too many people watch these anyway, but I'm just saying, like, it's out on the internet. People know about it. So, you know, there would obviously be huge spoilers for people who, like, were like, oh, wow, this looks like a cool new show that's actually being produced by a company. So, you know, there would obviously be problems there, which makes it unlikely. And it's just, it turns less from a community-based show to a Netflix show or a Disney show or whatever. So, yeah. So, yeah, as cool as it would be for it to be an actual show, odds are pretty low. But like I said, I mean, I'm fine with making it a comic. It would just be hard to make it a comic, you know. And so, yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see where it goes. You know, we'll see. That's still like at least a year away probably, because this is stream 23, so it's been about half a year that we've been working on this now. Well, it'll be a little bit less than half, but we've basically, a lot of the streams I feel like have been character development, and we basically have to do a whole nother stream for each character. Plus we got to do more side characters. Plus we got to do more world building. So by the time that we're actually ready to start writing episodes, it's going to be another year, probably another half a year, another year. So yeah, it's going to be, we got a long ways to go. So if you're still here in half a year to a year, then that's going to be great. So yeah, if you have a main story made and such, you could even make it a game or RP plays with side characters and such. Yeah, that's a good idea. There's just a bunch of stuff we could do. A game would be interesting. Instead, since we've like did all this world building, it would be kind of cool to have like an Ilaria based game. Obviously we would take out Luna and Nico, or it would just be in the future where Luna and Nico are like the main people, and it's just like you create your own adventure now, you know. I don't know. We've gotten a lot done for only half a year. Well, yeah, I think so too, because you know, it's only 2 hours per week for each stream. Now obviously a lot more work goes into it outside of that, but as far as how much we've done in a year, I think, or half a year, I think it's good. I think we're making good progress. So yeah, streaming service like Netflix came over and said, we would give you this much money and you can go use it for your show. We would like to put the show. What would you do? Okay, well, we've already talked about if Netflix was like, hey, we want this show, then I would accept it. We've already talked about it. Well, I mean, assuming that it was all fair and stuff, right? And that they wouldn't change it all and stuff like that. Assuming that it was taking this show that we made, actually producing it, and then releasing it on Netflix. We said that we would do that. But like, if they were to come by and say, hey, look, we like this idea, but we don't like where you're taking it, so we're gonna take the idea, we'll pay you for the idea, but we're gonna completely change it and all this, then it would be like, well, I don't know what to do, because like, that would be kind of sad, because we've worked so hard on it, and Netflix would just be taking it and be like, yeah, no, we're gonna completely do what we want with it. So then I would have to consult with you guys, and there would be a whole stream just dedicated to being like, well, what do we as a community want to do with our show? So RenP is easy to use and make visual novels if you have a story outline, and it's free. Have you used RenP? Well, I don't know. I haven't taken a look at anything. Is visual novels is when you have options, right? That's different options that you can choose. So it's like you are the main character, which could be interesting. I wouldn't be opposed to that. Yes, I did in the past. I plan to make a visual novel when I have free time. But knowing I have 8 work time with a 12-hour shift next week, it's a dark place. Easy with tutorials. Yeah, well, okay. Well, we will have to talk about where we want this show to go and what we plan to do in the future at a later date. The first stream was February 16th. Really? I thought it was March, but maybe it was February. So I don't know. I don't know. We wouldn't sacrifice the chance for the show becoming a thing if the show itself changes. Right. I don't think if Netflix was like, hey, we like this base, but we don't like where you're taking it with the story, would you accept this amount of money for it? I don't think I would accept that, because like at that point it's not our show, it's just, you know, their version of a base. It would feel like a fan-made version of what we did, so yeah. The Discord started in March. Okay. So it was February 16th. Wow. That was a long time ago. Yeah. So much time has gone by. Next stream will be half a year, I think. Then we can have a mini celebration. Well, we did miss a couple of streams though. So it will be half a year of actual streams, but I think it's probably already been half a year. But I mean, sure, we can have like a mini celebration. Like, let's see here. 52 weeks is a year. So that would be 26 episodes. 26 is half a year. So on the 26th stream, if you guys want, we can just party and chill out, you know, like a good, hey, it's been half a year, let's just chill out and talk and stuff like that. That could just be a mini celebration. I don't know. Good question. How much money do you think you would need to make the show? Well, it depends. Are you talking about actually animating? Because like right now, we're not funded at all. YouTube, this doesn't make pretty much any money on YouTube. So if you're talking about animation costs a lot of money. So I don't know specifically how much, and I don't know how much another show would cost. I would need like an example. I assume probably around the same amount as like Star Versus or the Owl House or something, but I don't know how much those have cost. So I don't know how well that would work. A lot though. I would need a lot of money. Not millions, but thousands of dollars, yes. So are we do we want to do like a mini celebration stream where it's like, hey, we're just gonna chill out and relax for this week? It's like, yeah. Or do we still want to do work? Because I don't care either way. we can either do, you know, just a fun, relaxed stream, play games, or talk about whatever we want regarding Page Turner. Or we could just stick to, like, I don't know, world building or whatever else we're doing. Because I feel like it would be good to take a break. Because, you know, like 2 plant streams in a row. I mean, I guess this stream wasn't super planty. I mean, we did talk about plants for a little bit. But it was more of a generic stream. Like a generic plants and animals stream, sort of. But, yeah. Can celebrate. Maybe show a mini timeline. Did you do a Kahoot on time? We did a Kahoot at one point, and I think it was a Discord exclusive Kahoot, maybe? Yeah, I think it was. Because maybe there wasn't a stream that week. I don't know. Next stream will be August 16th, which is 6 months after February. So if we're going to do a celebrations anniversary stream, it should be next stream. Okay, good thinking. I was going based off of the 26th stream. So that means we've only missed, what? We've missed more than 2 streams. We've missed 3? Have we missed only 3 streams? That's pretty good if we've only missed 3 streams. But I feel like it's been more than that. Maybe it hasn't? I don't know. What do we want to do next stream? Cost between 100,000 and 300. That seems like too much. I think that's too much. Mini stories for Page Turner, like legends from the world made by people. How many episodes would you want to have in the first season? Well, typically 24. Let's see. I think 24 is standard. Typically it's either 12 or 13, 24, or 26. Those are the most standard. Then there's some that are like weird. So I think we're gonna go with just probably 24 per season. An audiobook of small legends. That could be fun. There could be just a whole episode based on that. I definitely want there to be, you know, obviously like there's gonna be the main 3 seasons or whatever. But I also want there to be side, like, special episodes that don't really have too much to do with the plot. It's just extra fun stuff. Because, like, that just seems like fun. And why not? Because, you know, we're not limited by a budget since we're all just doing this for fun. Next stream, let's talk about how Nico lost his eye. That could be interesting. But how, if we're going to do a celebration for half a year, like what would that sort of look like, you know? Because it's not like we can have a party, really. Right? He didn't treasure it, so it left. His eye? What do you mean he didn't treasure his eye? He was just like, the eye just got up and left? If we make a pilot episode, maybe a company will pick up the show up? Maybe. I don't know. The problem is even animating a pilot episode would take a lot of time and money, probably. Now, I know most pilot episodes are actually animated by the creator of the show. So I'm pretty sure, like, for example, Steven Universe, Rebecca Sugar, I think, animated her pilot episode. We haven't officially seen the Star Versus pilot episode, but I'm pretty sure Darren animated that. I think, I don't know if Alex Hirsch solely animated his pilot episode, but I feel like he did. I'm pretty sure Butch Hartman animated his original pilot for Fairly Odd Parents. So essentially, it would be like me. I know I'm really only the host of Page Turner, not like the creator of Page Turner. But it would be like me having to animate a full pilot, and like I don't know how to do that. So yeah. What does pilot mean? Pilot means it's like the first, it's like a pitch. So it's like you animate an episode of the show, but it's not canon, it's not official. It's just to sort of get the idea of what the show is about out there. And then that's what you send to corporations and companies being like, hey, here's my idea. And so, yeah, that's what a pilot is. There's actually 2 people, or about 3 people who worked on Butch Hartman's animated. Oh, okay, I didn't know that. I just thought that it was mostly just the actual creator of the show who works on the pilot, but I don't know. A stream of you baking a page turner cake. That would not go well. You cosplay for the celebration. Like, I don't have any cosplay for anything. As much as I would like to get my hands on Nico's outfit because it looks sweet, that's all like super custom, so I wouldn't be able to. So essentially it would just be me wearing a Ladybug costume, and don't really want to wear that for 2 hours straight, not gonna lie. The only thing I could really get probably for Nico would be red hair, but even then, like, his hair is like curled back, so like it would be hard to do. Addition to get Aiden a Nico costume. Well, here's the thing, right? It would cost a lot of money, and I don't have that kind of money for this series, you know? Make a poppleberry plant out of balloons. You can give me some instructions. That seems like a lot of work, doesn't it? And I feel like, aren't the poppleberries like this big? Like, aren't they marble sized? I don't feel like they're balloon sized. Inject grapes with grape soda? Is this just like a DIY fun time with Aiden now? It's like... Water balloons? I don't know. I don't know. Why not make a huge poppleberry plant? So it would just be like a not to scale version with like balloons the size of this. So then there's like 15 different sized big balloons full of grape soda. Each balloon holding like a liter of soda. Anyone? Oh, do you hear static? Alright. Just a second, let me fix the static for you. And I'll try to mute it for you. What? Why is this? Okay, well that's not supposed to be picking up any audio. Anyway, did that fix it? Oh, that's too loud now. Test. Okay, that's probably fine. Sorry, I tried to turn that off, but it didn't end up turning off. I should have done that. Sorry. So now it's louder. It's too quiet? What? Patroner gets so many episodes you could make a channel just dedicated to the ideas. Well, possibly. Maybe I could. Is there still static or not? Is it better now? Is it still here? I think the static is still here. Alright, just a second. Alright, I'm gonna do this now. Is that better? Are we all good now? I could have said some super important stuff, and you guys just did not hear it because I muted myself. Alright, is the static better? Is it good now? I still feel like I'm too loud. Let's try this. How's this? Is this better? Just like I'm looking over here and it's peaking. It's gone! Yay! Yeah, that's fun. I can just like mute myself and nobody will know. But you wouldn't know. So, yeah. Alright, cool. Well, we've got 20 minutes. What are we doing next stream? We gotta decide what we're doing next stream. What do we want to do? That's the question. So, are there any plans to start animating episodes? No, there's not any plans. Because, well, first of all, it's expensive. Second of all, I don't think any of us know how to at a professional level. I mean, obviously, we could just draw stick figures, but if I'm going to animate the show, I'm going to do it right, you know? So, yeah. Aiden's DIY something. You guys just want to see me cut myself, don't you? Like, I'm not very good with scissors. Celebration stream with brainstorming. Okay. Do we want to do anything special for the celebration other than just calling it like, hey, you're celebrating half a year or whatever? You know, because like you could just say, hey, we're celebrating this and then not actually do anything for it. But typically if you're celebrating something or saying that you're celebrating something, something is special about the stream. Didn't we agree on animals for the next stream? Well, sort of, but if we're just like doing a celebration stream where we're just like sort of brainstorming and having fun. Plus a new name to celebrate. I don't really want to change the name unless if we have to, because I rather like Page Turner as the name. Buy yourself a cake and eat it with an eye patch. That could work. An eye patch is pretty easy to get my hands on. So I could probably do that. Maybe I'll just like hang up streamers or something. That would be pretty easy to do. You know? Page Turner, half a year birthday cake. Yeah. You know how there's you can get those things where it's like it's just like a sugar image where you put it on a cake. It's just like a thin layer of sugar, but it's like colored and it's like an image. Maybe we could get a custom Page Turner thing. And then I also thought of like, what if we got posters? Wouldn't that be cool? Like posters to hang up in the back there. I think that'd be pretty cool. Page Turners. Ah, that's weird. A cake with half a candle? Okay. That just seems like why? Make a flower fish? A flower fish? I don't even know how I would make that. We could try to design a poster and draw it. Half a candle for half a year. Well, I get that it was half a candle for half a year, but it's like, why? That just seems unnecessary and messy. Like, why go through the trouble of cutting in half a singular candle? Could Ilaria be made by an ancient dragon? No. Ilaria is just Ilaria. So I have a good question. The characters that are around you in the official Page Turner art don't have backs. Like, seriously, the backs of them. They know what? Huh? Are you talking about how they're just transparent? I don't understand that question. Do we even need to do anything? Well, technically, no, we don't have to. That's sort of what I was asking, if we actually want to do anything. So I don't know. We'll do something. I can get a cake or something. I wish I could give all of you a piece of cake, but I'm afraid I can't do that. Because first of all, that would be super expensive. And two, it's not feasible, so sorry. No, I'm saying that the characters in the background don't have backs. So if you're going to animate them, you need to know the backs. So you're just talking about, like, if you were to rotate them, what they would look like from behind? Like, but you would just draw that. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, you would just draw the back of them. It's not like, I mean, obviously, if you were going to animate it, you would create, like, a character sheet. Well, that's, what's the word? I could try pulling one up. Character reference? Star versus. I saw a good one for Star versus as far as a character reference, but I don't know. Is that what they're called? Is it called a character reference? Hold up. Character reference sheets. Okay. Right. Okay, so it would be. Oh, yeah. All right, so for example, this is what you would draw if you were doing a character for animation. Oh, character spread, is that what they are? Yeah. So this is what you would draw. So you would draw different angles for the different character. And this is, like, all animators have one of these. So, like, if they're working on some sort of animation, then they have this, and then they're like, okay, so this is what a character would look like from the side, for example. So, like, if this was actually being animated, we would have some of these, but, yeah. Get a syringe, grape soda, and grapes. Inject the grape soda into the grapes and let us know if it's good or not. That feels like it would be messy. But here's the thing, though, right? Grapes aren't hollow. So I don't know how that would work. Well, okay. Well, let's think about what poppleberries are, right? Poppleberries are berries that you put into your mouth and then they melt into a soda-like substance. So what if I just took grape soda and froze them into small little balls? That is essentially, then when you put it into your mouth, it would melt into grape soda. Obviously, it wouldn't have the same effect because, like, for this, I imagine like a more jelly type of, like an actual kind of grape. And then it would just, like, when you put it in your mouth, it melts into a soda. But, like, you know, just like freezing some grapes in the freezer, bubble tea, sorta. That's actually the same kind of texture that I'm imagining. It's just instead of it just sitting in your mouth, it would sort of like melt. Well, don't fill it to the point where you make a big mess. Right. What if you hollow bubblegum balls? Bubblegum with grape soda? And that wouldn't taste very good. I don't know. I'll have to do some research. Okay, I'll do something fun. I'll either get a cake or I'll freeze some grape soda or something. I don't know. We'll see. You'll just have to wait. Or maybe I'll do both. I don't know. We will see. We will see. But I will do something, don't you worry. It'll be a special half a year stream. Who will eat the cake? Well, I will eat part of the cake. I will eat a slice of cake. If I get a cake, I will eat slice of a cake during the stream, and then that'll be it. And then you'll have to sit there and be like, man, I wish I got cake. And I'll have to be like, I'm sorry. And then you know what? Maybe I'll just be like, I'll take one bite of the cake and then put it away, because then I would feel bad for making you guys suffer. Make a moon tree out of many tiny stars. I just don't, I'm not good with DIY. Like, as cool as it sounds, I just don't have the patience for that. So, yeah. Although that would be cool. Like, that would be something cool to have. I just don't even know how I would do it. I don't have the supplies. I don't, like, I just don't have the mind of a DIY person. Oh, get a mushroom and put googly eyes on it. That's something more on my level, but nah. Yeah. So we'll see. I'll find something to do that's fun and interesting. Don't know what though. Everyone get some cake for the stream? Yeah, okay, you know what? Everyone can get their own cake and we can eat it together. Then eat the mushrooms' siblings in front of it? That seems kind of harsh. Deep fry the mushroom? Is that a thing? I've never had deep fried mushrooms. I don't even really like care for mushrooms in general. You can try to draw something on stream, like your recreation of a character or plant. Okay, you know what? I could not do that for the life of me. I could maybe do a plant. I can not do characters for the life of me. You will eat papers at work. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Maybe we shouldn't do a cake, because then, like, not everyone can have a cake. Put mushrooms on the cake and then eat it. No. We're not doing mushrooms on a cake. Well, why do you feel offended? I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. That's the point. It's an experience where you have to try your best. Mushrooms on a cake? I'll pass. I will pass on that one. I can tell you something. Took a piece of paper, put it on your computer, then draw a piece of a picture of a plant and color it to make your own plant? Okay. Oh, you were talking about drawing. Yeah. Abomination of mushroom cake and you never having deep fried mushrooms? What? Mushroom cake, first of all, I don't think that would taste good, okay? And then deep fried have you had deep fried mushrooms before? I've never heard of that, but maybe it's a thing. I don't know. What color is the sky in Ilaria? I would think just blue, probably. Yeah, okay, so as far as what we're doing next stream, it'll be a celebration stream. My guess is we will probably talk about how Nico lost his eye, because that's sort of like an important plot point, although it's not super important at this point in time since we're just world building, but it is important to establish that. Mushroom cake doesn't sound appealing to me. Same here. So you've had deep fried mushrooms, Raw Lunix. Well, that's interesting. How are they good? I assume by your reactions, I assume they're pretty good. Face reveal for me with no glasses. I don't know if I can do this. Because we don't know his real identity. The glasses conceal everything. Yep. You have never seen my real face. This is all just a mask. Imagine if it was. That'd be so crazy. It's like, that'd be weird. Just like Ladybug's mask. Yeah. That's how, like, that's just how it is, you know, miraculous logic, right? I have one piece of small clothing covering my face, and then it's like nobody knows who I am. Nobody would ever figure it out. Yeah, maybe I'll do a face reveal with no glasses next stream. Maybe. If you convince me, maybe I will. Turns into Gabriel Agrest. Yeah. I'm secretly Gabriel Agrest, guys. All right. Well, we are nearing the end of this stream. This is the first stream, I think, where we've had not much to do, and instead of just playing games, we started talking about stuff. So, yeah. At this point, I'm sure you are not even human. I'm a poppleberry bush. Yes, you have figured my true identity. I have to leave now, so that way you don't figure it out any further. It's funny. All right, 3 minutes. Any final words? Odin cosplay in a poppleberry. I don't know if I could cosplay in a poppleberry bush. I don't think it would work. What? Why am I about to kill you? I'm not. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Purple balloons and I don't know. Let's see. I don't know. That would make... Okay, my excuse for that is it would create a lot of noise, you know? So all those balloons rubbing against each other, it would create a lot of noise and make it really unpleasant for your ears, you know? That's my excuse. Oh, any final words? I was just talking about today for the stream. Oh, you would definitely love to see me without my glasses. Well, maybe stay tuned for next stream, and if you convince me, I'll take my glasses off. But just a fair warning, I wouldn't be able to see anything in front of me, so like I wouldn't be able to read anything that you have to say. So, just a fair warning. Not even an entire bush, just one big poppleberry. Well, I don't know. Well, here's the thing, right? I'll get the grape soda. I'll definitely have the frozen grape soda, okay? So don't you worry. Don't you worry. Are you going to make a video of Miraculous Ladybug on Monday? Well, there's always a Miraculous Monday episode out on Monday. Is that even a question you have to ask? Of course there's going to be an episode of Miraculous on Monday. Because there's always on Monday. Unless if like I'm super busy over the weekend and I can't get to it. But typically that's not the case. There's only been a couple times where that's happened. But even then I try to make some sort of episode. So yes, there will be a Miraculous Monday on Monday. Near or far-sighted? I am nearsighted, so I can't see anything far away without my glasses. But I can see perfectly fine close up. Like, oh. Sorry, I did. Oh, there was a small little reveal there, but they were still on, so, you know. So, yeah, it's 3:30. I'm going to head out. Have a fantastic rest of your weekend. Thanks for sitting with me during the beginning part of this stream where it was possibly more boring because, you know, generic stuff. It's less interesting than, you know, the unique plants and, you know, Nico and Luna and everything, but it is definitely important to do. So yeah. Am I gonna change the time that I post the video? No, I am not planning on it. It's gonna stay the same time. So yeah, just keep it simple. So if you are in school when the video comes out, you'll just have to wait till after school. Give you something to look forward to. But all right, thanks for joining me again this week. I will talk to you guys, I guess, Monday, tomorrow, for the in the Miraculous Monday. So, yeah, I'll see you later. Bye, guys. Thanks for joining me again.